I think that puts us in a lot of positive advantages when he's throwing out there.
What's going through your mind when you're lined up out there at wide receiver? You throwing with the ball?
I'm just saying, if he come out where I got to get me a nice block. And, I wish he would. I tell him all the time, like, put me in a read. Like, I can make something happen, but they never want me in a read.
You're looking for a linebacker to hit?
Man, if I can. Like, I tell Taysom all the time, like, hey, bro, I can block too. Like, come on, man. Don't diminish my street cred. I can block.
Maybe once you look at the tape that maybe you did earn some of that?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, this man has been here for 16 plus years, and he's been coaching Drew Brees, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, our relationship in terms of, like, handing me over the keys, like, this is something that, like, he just didn't hand over the keys to Drew in his first 4 games. Like, this is a relationship that's going to be built, and obviously as we find more of an identity offensively, we're going to have different things that, like, he trusts me more in this situation than that situation, right? Like, that's how football works, right? That's like me with the receiver. Like, I'm going to trust, a certain receiver in this situation versus that situation. So it's really just a feel, because he's our play caller too. And when you got a guy like Alvin Kamara, and when you got trust in this dominant defense that we've had here, you have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? You got to trust your gut, and he's been really good at doing that. So like I said, like, I trust him, so I know that's gonna come. My better games this year, but we didn't finish. And I promise you, I'd rather play a game where I didn't like my tape and we win than I play a game where I say, hey, I did okay, and we lose. Like, that's just not in my DNA. Like, I would rather win than anything.
You talked a lot about the one 2 weeks ago that threw up to Callaway in the end zone and he went and got it, and whether or not that was a decision, whatever. There didn't seem to be any dangerous throws at all in this game. Would you agree with that? That you were able to stay out of problematic situations?
Yeah, coach really helped me get into a nice rhythm. We got hot, toward the end of the second half, really heading to the fourth. We got real hot there, so I was thankful that he got me into a nice rhythm. But I mean, some games you're gonna have to make plays like that, and some games you just have games like that where good things happen. But obviously we didn't win, so.
All the pieces actually do. I imagine Mike Thomas is a big piece of.
Oh, he's a huge piece. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I believe these guys, like, Marquez, Chris Hogan, like, we've had guys that stepped up in an amazing way. Kenny Stills, they called it touchdown back with him. We have guys that stepped up in a tremendous way. But obviously, defenses, they have to plan for our star players. When you add Mike Thomas, when you add Traquan Smith, those guys, like, that's an alarm that's ringing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now they can't just focus on Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying? They got to focus on these other people that are around where they don't have much film. Like, they got a lot of film on Chris Hogan. They don't have much film on Marquez Callaway. They don't have much film on Deontay Harris. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the receiver position. So as a defensive coach, you're going to plan for what you see. And that's why they plan a lot to stop Alvin, and that's why our guys have been stepping up in the past few games.
It seems the past 2 weeks, some of the communication, protection issues have been ironed out a little bit. Would you agree with that? And what are some of the changes y'all have made to kind of improve that?
I think the biggest change that we made is, me and Caesar get on the same page. People forget that was his first time playing center in the NFL. That Carolina game with actually noise. So communication was big there after you come off a COVID year where you don't have any crowd at all.
Right.
So the biggest thing is we got that fixed, but we got to continue to work there. We got to continue to focus on our protections and make sure we protect it so we can roll.
Is that something you want to get more involved in?
Alvin is probably my primary almost, and defenses know that. So it's their job to take away our best player. But when you take my best player, he's still getting a buck on you every week. That's the best part of playing quarterback with a guy who is as versatile as him. Defense fear him more in the passing game than they do in the running game. But I do believe that we're doing some good things in the passing game that's going to open up him a little bit more with these weeks to come.
A minute ago,
what is that like? How can we best function as an offense But I think after we get a nice self scout after this game and get into the bye, get some guys healthy back on the offensive side, I think we'll start finding that identity. But at the end of the day, as long as we find wins, like you can find the identity. But the key part is finishing and finding a way to win the football game.